So the other day I was streaming and somebody asked me, Hera, can you go for a fast castle into cataphracts with the Byzantines? And I said, listen, man, I would love to do this to make you happy, but the cataphract rush with the Byzantines is not really a good strategy. And I would, I'm playing against high level players in ranked ladder, I would lose the game pretty easily if I tried to go for that. And the reason is pretty simple. Like Byzantines are a civilization that like to scale, they don't really have any economy bonuses. And so the cataphract being just a regular knight, going for a fast castle, dropping a castle, which is a big investment, to make what is essentially just a knight, is not really a good strategy. And the guy said, oh, sure, no problem. You can do whatever you want then, it's fine. And then some other guy asked me, well, hold on, Hera. Well, you said the Byzantine is just the cataphract is just a knight from the castle, and so it's not a good strategy. What about the Magyars? The Magyars are making the Magyar Hussar out of the castle, and that strategy is broken. It's overpowered. I've seen you, Hera, use it in tournaments. So how come this is really strong? The Magyar Hussar coming out of the castle is good, but then the cataphract is just an unplayable strategy. And that got me thinking. It got me thinking that the average person, and fair enough, it's not a big deal, but the average person probably just doesn't know why the Phosphoru Rush is broken or strong to begin with, why the Phosphoru Rush works. So from the naked eye, from the watcher's perspective, the Phosphoru Rush is just a fast castle into unique unit. And so, naturally, if you're a casual viewer, you'd probably think, okay, let's just compare the unique units. And if you have a strong unique unit, you can go for the rush. If you have a weak unique unit, you can't go for the rush. That makes sense. And so for this chatter, it didn't really make sense that the Magyar Hussar and the Cataphract are kind of even in terms of like raw strength if you look at the stats. So how come one works and one doesn't? And that really got me thinking, I need to make a video on this because I think a lot of people would find this interesting. The Phosphoru Rush is something that has taken the last 5 years of Age of Empires kind of by storm. It's been played in tournaments, high elo ranked. It's even been played in mid elo ranked, low elo ranked. It's absolutely everywhere. And every like month or two, there's a Reddit post about why or how frustrating the Phosphoru Rush or why everyone's doing the Phosphoru Rush and how I'm quitting the ranked ladder because the Phosphoru Rush is so annoying to deal with. And I totally understand the frustration, but today's video is not going to be addressing that, how the strategy should be nerfed or whatnot. I'm just going to explain why the strategy works. And I will say that I personally believe that this is a new phenomenon. Like back in the day, Phosphoru Rush would not be as strong, and there's a really good reason for this. And the reason why the Phosphoru Rush is really strong is not what you think. It doesn't really have to do with the unique unit itself. It has to do with a lot of factors around the unique unit, and then just a little bit about the actual unique unit. Let's dive in and analyze what civilizations are actually strong with the Phosphoru Rush. Lucky for you guys, I've made a list already, so we can waste no time. So these 7 civs up here, the Bengalis, the Bohemians, the Magyars, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Tupi, and the Muisca. These are probably considered the 7 best Phosphoru rushing civilizations. Of course, there's a few others that are, pretty good. You can make the strategy work. But when people talk about something being overpowered, it usually has to do with these 7. You could maybe add in the Koreans, but that has been nerfed a bit, so I'll take it out of the list. But these 7, people can definitely complain about the strategy being overpowered. All of the other civs, it would be a strong strategy, but, it's pretty holdable. And then there's 4 more civilizations down here that do some kind of similar all-in rush, but it's not the unique unit from the castle. It's something else. So Shu would do the chariots. All right, the Jurchens would do the grenadiers. And then the Romans would do the 2 siege scorpions. And then the Celts would do the Scorpion Rampush. Scorpion Rampush. It's also known as the Huang Rush, because that player Huang has popularized it. All of these are the typical Phosphoru fast castle unique unit civilizations. Now, okay, let's analyze what makes these civilizations strong and why does the rush work. Let's start one by one. So we'll take a look at the Bengalis here, and we'll just take a look at the bonuses. So the Wrath is the unique unit, but then I'm noticing a few other things that are going on here. So number 1, towns are spawned with 2 villagers when the next age is researched. So okay, up until Castle Age, that's 4 extra villagers when I hit Castle Age. That's pretty damn good. All right. Monks, which is a very cheap unit that you can mix into your strategy, have extra armor. So +3 melee, +3 pierce armor. So those are 2 bonuses, like pretty significant bonuses that are taking place in the early game. And there's actually a 3rd bonus that can take place, which is cavalry +2 attack versus skirmishers, which happens to affect the Ratha as well. Skirmishers being the number 1 defense against the Ratha, well, we have a bonus against it. So that's very, very interesting. We're now seeing potentially 3 bonuses that are stacking within the first 15 minutes of the game. And on top of that, the Ratha itself is not costing food. Very interesting. There's something else you have to know about the Ratha. It has a lot of really strong raw base stats. and it has two modes, a range mode and a melee mode, and it has really good stats on the base without needing any upgrades. Those are very, very key factors for the Ratha. Let's take a look at another civilization now. We're going to check out the Bohemians here. And the point will be more obvious as we take a look at more examples. Let's take a look at the Bohemians. So we'll start with the unique unit this time, no problem. Oh, look, another unique unit that doesn't cost food. We'll talk about why that is later. Costs a lot of wood and gold, but that's not that big of a deal, and I'll explain why. A lot of HP, a lot of raw stats, and actually, this is a gunpowder unit, so this has all of its stats built in. The only way you can upgrade this is Siege Engineers, which is an Imperial Age upgrade, and the unique tech from the castle. Those upgrades are not that important. Most of the stats here are applied directly into the unit itself from the get-go, so it comes out of the gate really, really strong. And on top of that, you get mining camp upgrades for free. So that's both in feudal and both in castle. So if I go for a fast castle, I'm getting 4 upgrades for free. That's a lot of free stuff. Blacksmiths cost 100 wood less. Universities as well, but that's not that relevant. So I'm saving another 100 wood on blacksmiths. Okay, it's pretty damn good. And if you take a look at fervor and sanctity affecting villagers, well, that could play a role. It's not that big of a deal. So the main thing here is I'm getting 2 bonuses that apply within the first 15 minutes of the game very strongly. And then I'm also getting that combined with a unique unit that's strong out the gate and doesn't cost food. Let's take a look at the next one, Magyars here. All right. Well, actually, let's tackle the Portuguese. We're going to skip ahead because Portuguese is exactly the same as the Bohemians. Organ gun doesn't cost any food, and then you get the berry bonus that generates a lot of wood in addition to food, and then you get your gold units all costing 20% less. That's 2 strong bonuses, with a little bit of a team bonus, like a third one kind of played in there, with a strong unique unit out the gate, a gunpowder unit. You can't upgrade this in early game, so all the stats are built in, and it doesn't cost food. All right, it's the exact same as the Bohemians. Next, let's take a look at the Tupi and Muisca. Tupi and Muisca are the exact same as well. Unique unit, really strong, doesn't cost food, very good base stats. It's cheap, easy to spam. This one's not as strong, but because it's cheap and easy to spam, it's kind of like it's the same. It's a similar concept to being a strong unit. So instead of having a strong unit, I'm having more of a weak unit, which in turn makes it strong. And then on top of this, you start with extra resources, so 1 bonus. Villages and garrison and settlements is another bonus that helps you stay safe early. Fallen units give you 15% of the cost when they die. That's a third bonus. Has 3 bonuses, all stacking. And then actually you're getting the castle that gets extra pop space as well. So it's a 4th bonus that's stacking. So you're getting 4 bonuses on top of a unique unit that's strong, doesn't need many upgrades. It's just strong at the gate, maybe fletching Bodkin, but nothing more. And it doesn't cost food. Same thing with the Muisca. Take a look at the Muisca. I'm seeing a lot of patterns here. We're going to talk about all of these patterns at the end of the comparison here. Take a look at this. Some Muisca, Getchen Warrior. Strong out the gates, has good stats, only needs fletching and bodkin, maybe some armor, but nothing too crazy. It's a strong unit out the gate, doesn't cost food. How many bonuses we have stacking in the first 15 minutes? Advancing to the next stage costs minus 50% gold. That helps for feudal. That doesn't help for feudal, but helps for castles. Save 100 gold. Settlements are cheaper. That helps a lot for early game. And then let's take a look at something else. Okay, monks regaining their faith. That's pretty good. It's a third bonus that could play a role into it. Natural gold sources lasting longer doesn't really matter too much. So that's 3 bonuses with a strong unique unit that doesn't cost food. All of these showing a very, very similar pattern so far. If you take a look at the last 2 on the list, it's the Magyars and the Spanish. Those ones break one of the rules. So if you take a look at the Magyars here, their unique unit does cost food, but the Magyars cost very little food. 35 food, 45 gold only. That's half the cost of a knight. When you compare that to the initial example of the Byzantine cataphract, just for argument's sake here, Byzantine cataphract, 70 food, 75 gold. Okay? This is half the price of the cataphract, half the price of a knight. But it's not only that. The unit is very cheap, it's made very quickly, and look at the bonuses that are stacking. Melee attack upgrades are free with a fast castle. That's 2 attack upgrades that I'm getting right off the bat. Now, of course, there's nothing else that's actually stacking here. It's just 1 bonus. But the fact that the Magyar costs so little, combined with getting free attack upgrades, makes the strategy very, very strong. And then the Spanish is probably the one civilization that breaks the rule. The Conquistador is quite expensive, 70 food and 60 gold. However, they get a couple bonuses that help them out in the early game. That stays the same. So builders working faster, getting extra gold, which is a new... that's actually a new bonus that was added to the Spanish. So you get plus 20 gold for each technology research. Blacksmith upgrades cost no gold. So that's 3 bonuses. 3 somewhat smaller bonuses, but still stacking pretty well in the first 15 minutes of the game. to set up a really strong push with the Conquistador. In the past, you didn't have this bonus here, and so you're down maybe like 60 to 100 gold by the 15, 20-minute mark, which is not a crazy thing, but when you stack resources in the early game, or when you stack bonuses in the early game, it creates a snowball effect to lead to these really broken all-in rushes. And the conclusion of the video, just to keep it nice and short, the conclusion of the video, and I can talk about these four as well, but these four offer a very similar situation. The Shu have multiple bonuses, the Jurchens have multiple bonuses, the Romans and Celts have multiple bonuses, all of them stacking into the first 15 or 20 minutes of the game. And so the conclusion of the video, why the Phosphoru rush is so strong or potentially broken, is not because of the unique unit itself. It's because a variety of things that all align perfectly to make the rush work. The number one is a strong unique unit, all right? And especially one that doesn't take a lot of upgrades for it to be good. Very important. A strong unique unit that doesn't take a lot of upgrades. The Conquistador, Mega SR, despite costing food, apply this one perfectly. Next is not costing food. This is very important. Why is not costing food a very, very good thing to have for a unique unit? Food is the hardest resource to get in the game. You need to get wood first to then make farms to then make the food unit. That's a very big process. If the unit just costed wood, I can cut that whole food thing out of the window. I can just take the wood. I don't need to make farms. I take the wood and make the unit. But taking the wood, making the farms, then making the unit is a lot slower. So food is the most expensive resource in the early game. It's not gold, despite most people thinking that gold is the limited resource in Age of Empires 2. It's not always the case. All right, so not costing food is very important. The third thing, this is a very, very important point, is stacking early bonuses. The rush will not work if you don't stack early bonuses. Think of the Spanish, for example. If they didn't get any of those three bonuses, the Conquistador rush would not be as strong. And that is, by the way, the strongest one if you take away all the bonuses. The Magyars, losing the 2 attack, the Magyars are a lot weaker if you take away the fact that they get 2 attack upgrades for free. It's not going to be nearly as strong. All of these civilizations here really need their stacking early game bonuses for them to actually be a strong Phosphoru rushing civilization. Bohemians especially. Without those free mining upgrades, you won't be able to afford the wagon. It's just not going to be possible to afford it. So this is a very important point that you need to have in order for the rush to work. All right. And then the last thing I would say is, wait, I think I named them all. Never mind. We're good. These three. That's it. We're done. These three factors are what makes the Phosphoru rush work. If you don't have 2 out of these 3 factors, it's not going to work out. So for example, not costing food, this was broken by 2 civilizations, Spanish and Magyars, these 2. Strong unique unit, all 7 have it. Stacking early bonuses, all 7 have it. All right. And if you want to take a look at an example of a civilization that doesn't stack early bonuses, go none other than the original example, the Byzantines. All right. Oh, I don't want to invite anyone. The Byzantines do not stack early bonuses at all. They get Town Watch and Town Patrol for free, which doesn't help any kind of rush. They get a bonus for Imperial Age, which is not helping any rush. They get a water bonus, not helping any rush. Buildings extra HP, not helping any rush. And then 1 bonus that can help you rush. This is an older Civ, an Age of Kings Civ, that has gotten other buffs, but has not gotten anything that stacks together to make a rush broken. And so the purpose of this video is not to nerf the Phosphoru rush, but just to explain why it actually works. So my take, if you wanted to nerf it, would not be to just go through all of these civilizations and be like, all of these civilizations need a unique unit that costs more. Make it cost more, cost more, cost more. Because that's a band-aid solution on a very, very big problem. The real problem, the reason why these civilizations are so strong is the stacking bonuses, the strong unique unit that doesn't take a lot of upgrades, strong out the gates, and the fact that it doesn't cost food. All right, these are the 3 things that makes a Phosphoru rush broken, Phosphoru rush overpowered. If these 3 things are not present, then you can't have a good Phosphoru rush. It's going to be mediocre at best. And my take is, if you wanted to nerf it, you have to go through each one of these civilizations, see which of these is the biggest problem, and then act accordingly. If the unique unit is strong because it doesn't take a lot of upgrades, you can maybe hide some of its power behind an upgrade, a unique tech. That way you can still make the unit, it's decent, but it's not overpowered. If the problem is that it doesn't cost food, you can make it cost food. Like for example, the Grenadier could cost a little bit more food instead of gold. That way the rush for the Jurchens is not as strong. If the problem is stacking early bonuses, then you can tackle, okay, maybe we'll take 1 bonus out, we'll make it a bit weaker, or we'll stagger the effect of the bonus so that it helps a little early, but helps a bit more later. So you kind of stagger the effect of the bonus and not make it so strong in the first 15 minutes of the game. All right, this was a very raw video, no editing. It's just me and a camera, old school. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did like the video, let me know in the comments below. If you guys learned something, let me know as well. If you think I missed something, also let me know in the comments below. And if you guys like videos like this, I'll make more of it. But that's it for me. Take care and peace. Keep phosphor rushing. They're not going to nerf it for a while, I don't think. So just keep going. Enjoy it while it lasts. Get your free elo. Take care, guys. Peace.